will not allow coup after coup West Africa's president. We will take this up seriously with African Union and to the European Union and Britain and America. Take it up. It's a challenge. Yes, democracy is very tough to manage, but it's the best form of government. And we also ascribe to it. We must bite back. We can't sit like toothless bulldog and ECOWAS.
I don't know how I feel about President Bola Tinubu's recent speech. As you know, he just became ECOWAS chairman, and the first thing he talked about during his very first speech is the fact that he will not allow coups in West Africa again. And I understand where he's coming from. At the end of the day, we want, a transition of power peacefully after an election. And that's exactly what we want. We don't want to overthrow governments. We don't want none of that because it usually doesn't end up being peaceful, right? I get that. But at the same time, at the moment, at least in West Africa, there is Mali, right? There's Burkina Faso, there's Guinea. Currently, they're being led by military governments that overtook that position by coup d'etats. And as you know, most of the people, at least the ones we see, appreciate their transitional military governments and they love them and they stand by them. They've shown that they are happy with their work thus far. Even if that's the case, of course, ideally we would like them to facilitate an election and people vote for who they want, and the people deserve a civilian government, right? So with that still being said, for him to say this, it also kind of sounded like a threat, because at the end of the day, he's talking about his neighboring countries. So I'm not sure how I feel about that with everything that is going on. And as you know, the military governments of those countries have kicked out UN troops, have kicked out German troops, have kicked out French troops. And they said that they are for the people. So if the end goal is serving the people, isn't it better now to have the conversation of why did this coup happen in the first place? What can we do? Us as ECOWAS member countries, how can we solve this? How can we fix this? How can we make it better for the people so that this doesn't happen next time and we avoid it and we do what we're supposed to do? Because at the end of the day, the governments need to know that they are there to serve us. We're not there to serve them. They literally promised us and committed and said everything that we wanted to hear when they got into that position. But unfortunately, some governments, some leaders overstay and they don't want to leave. And even if they have election, they rig that election. So the thing is, I get what he's saying. And ideally, it should not be like that's not the first thing we need to go to. But if, let's say, a leader doesn't want to leave and he's there in that position 10 years, 20 years, 30 years plus, and it's unconstitutional, what should we do about it? I guess that's my question. Because governments and administrations and parties also need to understand the power is with the people, not with them. And the only way they will know is if they understand if they don't do their job right and if they overstay, there's consequences, right? But anyways, fam, I want to hear from you what your thoughts are about what President Bola Tinubu said when it comes to coups and him not being able to allow it to happen anytime going forward. Let me know down below.